Welcome back, everybody, to our, I was going to say group stage coverage, but we're not in group stages anymore.
No,
we are in our winners bracket final in Game 2 as well, as Rain going up against Unicorns of Love, of course.
Oh, there we go.
There it is. We were anticipating that, although the Yorick ban, I think... I don't know whether that's needed.
I don't know. I think it was just a bad matchup for the Jacks, and unfortunately they didn't opt to lane swap into it, and therefore just let Yorick get that free farm, which makes him quite powerful.
Yeah.
So anyway, banning it out. It's not even one of Vizzy's main champions, as far as we've seen so far. Vizzy has such an intensely varied pool of top lane champions. Kha'Zix being banned out too, Nidalee, Lee Sin, and the final ban coming out from Unicorns of Love.
This is really interesting because I would have expected that Kha'Zix ban to have been a Leona ban and then Rain to pick up Kha'Zix.
Yeah.
But they haven't. They're leaving Unicorns to decide the 6th ban. I mean, they won't want to ban out Ziggs, but it's a potential ban. They're actually going to ban out the Morgana. So Rain, what are they left with here?
Well, Nutri told me he was going to go for something special this game.
Oh, okay.
He's going to go, in his words, full YOLO.
Oh dear.
So we're...
oh, they're going to pick away the Leona.
I like that because of how good Hylasang is. He's going to immediately turn over for that Thresh. Again, we said he had a quiet game last game. We haven't seen anything... We haven't seen... Okay, I want to put it this way. We didn't see him play bad, but we haven't seen him play Leona level Hylasang.
Okay, yeah. So they're going to pick up Ziggs Nocturne. That was what we talked with FM about. They said that was what they played pretty much every game. Another thing with Thresh being available is Thresh against Leona is a very good lane for Thresh.
Yes.
You can flay back the Zenith Blade attempt and pretty much deny the stun out of Leona up until she gets her ultimate. So this is one of those things that Thresh will be picked up later. They don't need to pick it up now because it's highly unlikely Leona is
because Leona won't be anywhere else
than
support. And they take away 2 vital picks, so the Nocturne being taken away from Nutri and Ziggs going over to Zodiac in that mid lane. Ooh, Warrior going again for an early Jax pick. That's got to be, I don't know, into an opponent that's as good as Vizzy. They need to be really careful about that.
I think here they're thinking, okay, Yorick's off the table. However, Ryze is still available, which, you know, we know Vizzy can play that kind of player, play that kind of champion. So I'm kind of expecting a Ryze lock in here, probably with the Thresh.
Okay, and Omega going to pick up the Lucian right there. Talon being hovered over, I would be very surprised if that is a Talon. Ooh, that's a Trundle or a Shyvana being hovered over in that top lane. Both of them do pretty well against the Jacks early on, so Caitlyn being opted over for Vardags. Caitlyn, one of Vardag's best AD carry champions. So.
Yeah, they do pretty well early on, but then end up falling off against Jacks, so... maybe they'll just go for the Thresh. I feel like they're going to pick up Thresh in this rotation somewhere. It's just whether it's the AD carry alongside that. To be honest, they have no rush on any of the positions remaining.
Exactly.
They're not looking for a counter.
I feel like Rain have shown most of their hands so far already, so they don't need to pick up their opposing laners until a bit later on. They want to secure those picks that are so vital to them. Now, I feel like this is going to be Nutri on Shyvana. What he said to me was, I'm going to do what Master of Sheepy does, but I'm going to do it better.
Oh, okay,
so that's some fighting talk coming out from Nutri right now.
That's some big words from Nutri there. That's because I was speaking to Master of Sheepy yesterday, and he said all tournament long I'm just going to sit in everybody else's jungle and just farm their jungle out, and that's going to be it, and that's how this game's going to go. But hasn't quite paid off for them yet. Couple of options still available for that top lane.
Rengar is banned out in this championship, so
I
don't think Rengar will be picked. But that is a fairly standard pickup into the Jax. Hylasang on that, Vizzy on that Renekton. We have seen him play Renekton in the last few games that we've seen him play.
Yeah, and I feel like this would go a little bit better than we saw the Jax Renekton match earlier, where Mancastle would die 3 times in lane. I feel like this would be a lot more consistent.
Well, I feel like Warrior has played up against the Renekton matchup. It's not the worst. It is pretty bad for Jax if Renekton's played properly, but I believe Warrior's a good enough Jax player to know when and when not to engage against a Renekton and to keep himself safe. So that's going to be our full team comps lined up. Nutri on Shyvana, Warrior on Jax, Blackjack's going to be on that Leona, Digger going to be picking up the Orianna in the mid lane, and Omega is going to be on Lucian. On the side of Unicorns of Love, we've got Vizzy on that powerful Crocodile Renekton, Master of Sheepy picking up Nocturne for the second game running, Zodiac is going to be on the Ziggs in that mid lane. We've seen him play it to great effect over this tournament. Vardags is going to be on Caitlyn, and Hylasang on his Thresh again.
looking at the team compositions, Rain have got pretty good ball delivery system. They got Dragon's Descent from Nutri heading into the fight. Also Leap Strike from from Jax if they can really get in there, but that is pretty short range. You're looking for that Leona into the follow-up with the Shockwave as well. So it's down to Rain to actually get the fights that they want with this composition, whereas looking at the side of Unicorns of Love, they're far happier to siege with the wave clear from Ziggs, from Caitlyn. They're happy in front of a turret. They can just clear down the waves and really just push into as many turrets as possible.
Yeah, and I believe that no lane swaps will be coming out here. I do think Renekton is such a good 2v1 champion that they won't want to risk putting him up against the Lucian and the Leona, because unfortunately Leona, being a melee support, doesn't have the pushing power on a turret that she needs to, especially against a Renekton who can stun her under turret and slice and dice. And you can't dive a Renekton easily either. He does have that stun and the Colder Meek to give him the health regen as well. So again, I think they'll be looking to avoid a lane swap in this game and just going for the standard matchups.
Yeah, I kind of expect to see standard matchups in this game. As you said, Leona is pretty horrendous at 2v1, mainly because all of her abilities are like, yeah, we're going to go in under a turret. Not a good idea, especially, as you mentioned, not against a Renekton. But it's kind of down to Master Sheepy and how he plays the first 6 levels. We've seen if there were to be a lane swap, the 3v1 work out a lot better than the 2v2 situation, but I feel like he'll have a quiet first 6 levels, and then from there, then extend that with the paranoia into that counter ganking kind of way of playing Nocturne that we've just seen he's so good at.
Yeah, so right now it will be a farm fest. I think Nutri's opting to go for a Feral Flare jungler too. Needs to have that same sort of pressure that Master of Sheepy can exert as well in that mid game. I do like the Shyvana into the Nocturne pickup too. You can farm better, you can counter gank if you get into positions for it, and you can also do better in team fights. You have the similar dive potential. Obviously not the range, but you do have the ability to chase down like a Nocturne does. You don't have the amount of CC, but you have more damage.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, that is the case indeed. Only 1 minute left on the delay timer here before heading into Game 2 of our winner bracket finals. It feels strange to already be at the winners bracket finals, but that is where we are. The lower bracket is still chugging along at the same time, so still, I believe there are about 6 or 8 teams still left in the tournament that are still playing for their places. These 2, and then I believe another 4, so it is going to be
I'll
I'll
give you a bit of an update from what I can see. Right now, Team Enigma are going to be going up against the winners of Perilous Rift and Void that has not yet been completed. Team Infused are still playing against BetterLeague.com, GetBetterAtLeague.com. FM eSports are in there, so we haven't had it move over to the last lower round 5. We will be bringing you the lower round final, however, so that will be coming straight to you after this match when those matches are complete. However, there are 2 best of 3s to go. So
I feel like we may actually be a little bit delayed on that, and if so, may end up not bringing the lower bracket final. It just depends on the schedule that we have, whether it conflicts with the rest of the event schedule.
Yeah, very much so.
With regards to, you know, a couple of the different activities that happen on a Saturday night is all. It just sometimes when the schedule
we will endeavour our best to bring you the lower bracket final. If it doesn't get there in time, we apologise. There's 2 best of 3s, however, in the lower brackets to go. It depends on how quickly they get sorted. Yeah,
it's one of those things that if the schedules work out, we will bring you the games.
Anyway, guys, you're watching the Razer League of Legends Challenge Cup with Stressing Scoundrel, hosted by Razer. If you want to get in contact with them, that's at Razer on Twitter or RazerZone.com for all of their peripheral computer needs. Anyway, we're going to get straight into the game here, and already loading in pretty quickly. Hopefully going to see some intense level 1 action like we saw previously from Rain. That was a great team fight at level 1. I'm going to remember that one for a while. But here we go. Speaking of level 1, who has the better level 1 team in your opinion, Stress?
I feel like Thresh is always, I want to say king of level 1, but that's only because the queen of level 1s is like Annie.
Yeah.
Like Annie Zyra Thresh is like what the kind of levels that you want. Anything that has that good crowd control from a distance. I mean, Leona is decent if you can get that close range stun, but that's not exactly easy to get. You kind of have to have somebody face check in. So I feel like Thresh kind of turns everything in Unicorns of Love's favour in this level 1.
Yeah, very much so. So we're not going to see lane swaps, possibly going to be going straight into these standard lanes. Everyone from Rain buying very quickly. moving up, and looks like Leona, Nutri, and everyone is heading up towards that tri-brush area of the red side jungle of Unicorns of Love. Unicorns of Love look like they're spreading out. Kaylin heading bot, Vizzy heading top. Looks like we're going to get a standard lane setup of these guys.
Okay, I've adjusted the audio as well. I know people were saying that perhaps the in-game audio was a little high, so it has been changed up somewhat. Reduced that a little bit.
Alright, so we do look like everyone is piling up in this top lane. Vizzy has already made it to that tri-brush there, so he will catch out anyone who is potentially going to walk through. He's in a good position to escape. Nutri pops out the burnout, going to catch out Vizzy unaware. Incoming Leona, she's going to get the stun down. This is going to be first blood going down to Leona. Probably the worst champion to get it on. However, a level 2 early Leona will be good if they stand to go for the standard lanes. They are going to go straight up for an invade here though.
It feels like Visage actually wasn't paying attention.
Yeah,
I've got to be honest.
I do feel like Visasachi wasn't paying attention.
There wasn't any movement. He didn't try and slice and dice away or anything like that. I wonder, has he actually skilled? No, he was skilled it mid-stun.
So unfortunately, that's going to mean that he's got the worst skill probably to start with in lane.
Yeah.
And he's going to have a bit of a tough time, but he is up against Jax. Probably won't be looking to level it all in him until level 3. Ooh.
Jax started recalling. And they've seen Renekton head to lane. I think they actually might be lane swapping here.
They are going to lane swap into this, so they are going to stick a Jax up against a Caitlyn and a Thresh. Looks like Master of Sheepy is going to go in for the red buff, and unfortunately, Rain don't have any idea.
Yeah, Rain are not aware of that, but yeah. Sorry, I'm just trying to figure out exactly which. Yeah, okay. I had a 25 minutes then with Rain doing this lane swap. Threw me off because we weren't really anticipating it.
Looks like there is a bit of a standoff here. Blackjack is going to go in and get onto Vizzy. Vizzy slice and dices away, gets a bit of damage onto Blackjack, although almost negligible. Doesn't look like Slight is going to try and get a bit of damage down. Oh, the damage coming down from the Shield of Daybreak, very good. A couple of mortar attacks coming out from Blackjack means that they're going to force Vizzy to recool already. Now Jax is being zoned out too. I think Nutri knew that his red buff had gone down, so now he's heading over to Nocturne's side jungle, going to take away these wraiths in the meantime. So Nutri doing a good job, and it looks like Leona is going to head round for this red buff.
Yeah, Leona's heading over to just put the wards down, make sure that Nutri is able to secure that pretty safely. You don't really want to invade too deep without those wards over the area, because there is a lot of potential for Nocturne to duel in the jungle, so he has to
be careful. Nutri needs to be careful as Nocturne is turning up. He has got the ward there, so we'll see. Nutri is going to back away. At the moment, he's going to be known that he's there because the little minions are giving it away. Master Sheepy's level 2 compared to Nutri's level 3. Got to be very careful if he's seen on the Dustbringer. Nutri going to flash away. Ignite comes down onto him and he's going to get away with his life for a summoner spell. Not too bad. And he got the level 3 of Nocturne buff, but it means that they're just going to have to back around. And Nutri doesn't have the amount of damage that he needs to be able to take down Vizzy at this moment in time. And also, he's not very healthy.
Heavy trading in the middle and jungle. There's just so much damage trading back between these two teams so far that I'm wondering who's going to be able to snowball off that. We've had that first kill go in favor of Rain in that early invade, but it's then who can get the benefit out of that. They haven't really converted that into anything yet.
And Digger's having a really hard time against Zodiac again. He's been forced back already, so again, Digger just getting early harassed like he did last game and not doing too well in his early trades. Looks like Warrior's having a better time, not taking too much harass. He's actually already level 3 as Renekton is level 2, so doing a little bit better in that and in terms of, not in terms of CS. Looks like Vizzy is going to be forced back away from Blackjack as he tries to go in, clear the ward in that rush. Looks like Blackjack is going to take a Cold Nika to the face. Nocturne is still hanging around that topside jungle. There are no wards now. He is going to stick a ward down in that tri-brush, so you need to be very careful in that top lane that Nocturne doesn't appear from the river. It doesn't look like he's going that way anyway.
The problem is this 2v1 swap up is just not working for Rain. They haven't pressured out top lane enough, because look at the bottom lane turret health difference now. Top lane is pretty much still full health, and yes, both top laners are pretty low on CS, but it's all about that turret and how fast that goes down and how quickly you rotate around. And you can already see, I expect Master of Sheepy to hang around on this lower side jungle, likely do his white next and be around for the dragon just in case that tower falls, because although Nutri is here to hold that turret, they're still going to take damage because of how far back Caitlyn can attack that turret from.
I need to be honest, the best way to deal with a Feral Flare jungler is to force a lane swap. so you stop them from farming and force them to come and defend turrets, so that they don't farm up the epic monsters that they need to finish their Feral Flare. I do need to be honest though, Nutri is sitting well behind on CS compared to Nocturne. He was on 18 and Nutri on 10. Nutri actually picking up most of his CS from lane, being in the same lane as Jax. Now Nutri needs to be very careful that he doesn't get distracted too much, as he'll definitely lose out on finishing the early Feral Flare if he's not careful.
Yeah, and if he doesn't get that, it really does put him in a difficult situation, as he just won't have the damage. And the risk of playing Shyvana jungle is that you really normally require all of your lanes to be ahead. Now, Feral Flare offsets that a little bit by that extra damage, but you can't be behind as well. But Hook in the bottom lane.
Coming in the bottom lane. There's the counter-strike coming out from Warrior. Used it already. Now they're going to have to be really careful under this turret because the dive can come out. In that mid lane, however, we have got Zodiac and Digger going toe-to-toe. He's trying to take out that pink ward. It is a little bit of a pink ward battle here. So what ward comes in and blocks out the ward from the pink ward because he's already got a pink ward in there. Oh, that was very nice play from Zodiac.
Oh man, that is.
I've never seen that
play.
before.
I've never seen
that before. That's incredible.
Preventing the attack on the ward because there's another ward there.
Yeah.
That was. That's a nice little trick. I didn't realise that could happen.
No, and the first turret of the game by quite a big margin in terms of health is going to go over to Unicorns of Love, not opting to take it so quickly and now going to finish it off, forcing Warrior back. I don't think the lane swap has gone exactly how Rain were planning it to.
No, it definitely hasn't. It's backfired already. We've seen this from teams that are initiating the lane swaps, is they're not pressuring out the top lane fast enough to really use it to their advantage, because this is what happened in the Rain infused game, and it looks like Master Sheepy wants to defend this turret now that they have that turret advantage in this game, and that could be problematic for Rain because it'll hold them from being able to, you know, collapse around this top lane turret. It's still got half of its health.
Yeah, it doesn't like Varlags and Halisang. I'm going to push onto this second tier turret. Not actually going to get too much damage onto it now, but good auto attacks coming out onto the Jax. Master of Sheepy forcing Omega to back there, taking a bit of damage from the Dustbringer. And Omega just cancelling his auto attacks in the tower, probably just a little bit nervous about getting too close to the Nocturne.
Yeah, doesn't want to overstay. Fear Tether there could drag him right the way into the turret, and from there it's pretty much all she wrote for a Lucian. But Hook not quite going to land in that bottom lane. Hylesang's just going to keep throwing them out because, you know, you never hit the hook you don't throw. So just keep him on his toes.
There you are. Don't do it, don't fly. Looks like a bit of damage is going to come down onto Digger. Digger got the blue buff, but doesn't have the mana to use most of his abilities. Zodiac is in the same pool, however. Things are coming down onto pink wards in the brush. Looks like Leona is going to get caught out by Master of Sheepy. He does have an ultimate available. They need to be very careful here. Busy is very high in health as well. Ultimate comes down onto Blackjack. Giving up the ultimate from Zodiac, forces the flash away. Master of Sheepy then activates his ultimate again. Busy's going to get the stun off onto Slight. They are going to try and back away here. Is the slice and dice going to come through? Yes, it is with the ultimate from Busy. He's going to force the flash from Slight, and they're going to back away.
Yeah, they're going to get away from this one as Master Sheepy was pretty low, so didn't really want to chase on into that because Blackjack is around level 5, still a little way away from 6, but you obviously can't read that if you're on Unicorns of Love.
They're going to jump onto Busy as the ultimate goes down. Blackjack needs to be very careful that he's very low, and Busy gets a slice and dice. One more Cold and Meek is going to finish him off here. Has he got the cooldowns for it? No, just misses by the skin of his teeth, gets hit by a turret shot. Slight's going to use the culling. He's going to use Force the Flash, but the kill is going to go over to Omega. Bit of poor play from Busy right there.
Oh, that slice. That Kaldameek was so close. So close. But he's now 0-2 in this game. Of course, got picked off very early on.
But that's just going to give Unicorns of Love the excuse to go for 12.
Yeah, it will. As they do obviously know where most of the members of Rain are. There are a couple collapsing here as they're going to go with Dragon's Descent.
Here comes Rain Nutri over the side. The Dragon pick up by the Smite Nocturne. Warrior is in the middle there. Master of Sheepy is very low, and Nutri is getting in the mad. Oh, the shockwave coming up from Oriana, forces some flashes. Hylesang is going to go down to Nutri in the end, so Nutri picking from much needed kills to try and finish off that Wriggles Lantern. They're picking that pink ward. They should probably pick it off while they have the chance.
I think the problem is they're pretty low. They don't really want to do that while there's a couple of members here from Unicorns of Love still around. Even though they're fairly low, Unicorns of Love still have a lot of damage from Zodiaz, from Master of Sheepy. You look at a Duskbringer or a Bouncing Bomb, but Zodiaz is needed now in the middle lane to hold this turret because there's 3 members there, and as soon as Ziggs appears, they all back away because Ziggs is just going to clear that minion wave far too fast for anybody really to deal with. Up at the top lane, Chache's been pushing up towards the tower and is starting to get himself a little bit more farm. He's got an ever so slight lead against the Jax in this matchup, but Warrior, you know, if you give Jax free farm in the same way, he's just going to be able to use that better as this game goes on and on.
Yeah, but right now the power spike is in favour of Renekton. Has got that Giant's belt, whereas there's only a ramp set on the Jax. So right now, in this current stage of the game, even though he's 0-2-0, it's going to be slightly more powerful than Jax. However, won't be going in that 1v1 situation just yet, as the outer turret still stands quite healthily at quarter HP for Unicorns of Love. However, it has the auto attack damage block has now dropped off for it, as well as the armor buff, so yeah, it's going to be easier to take down now for Omega, who is walking up towards it, but Vizzy doing a good job of face tanking most of the bullets coming his way.
Zodiaz and Digger in that middle lane. Digger takes a fair amount of damage and is just going to back away from that one. He doesn't want to be too close to Zodiaz.
Bouncing bomb's doing a lot of damage. Master Sheepy gets a good dust bringer. It's going to get the shockwave off. No, there's Blackjack. He's going to get caught, and Nutri is going to finish him off with the flame round.
Oh, built over into Ace in the hole. Will be enough to pick off Warrior in the lower side of the jungle. And really, that's going to leave uncontested Caitlyn and Thresh to push on, because they have to have somebody to deal with Renekton right now. They have to have somebody to deal with Ziggs in the middle lane. And now they've got a man down as Vardags and Hylasang are pushing on towards this inner tower in this bottom lane. Middle lane, they may be able to trap Ziggs, but they don't have a massive amount of damage.
No, they don't. And there comes the Hexplosive Minefield. He's already used that that satchel charge, uses the flash to get away from the Zenith Blade. Blackjack almost catching him there. Gotta say, Jax has now headed down to that bot lane, used the teleport to get there, but that is a very unhealthy outer turret for that bot lane. They need to be very careful that doesn't go down. And that top lane turret is still standing at quarter HP for Unicorns of Love. Slight not having a good time 1v1ing Renekton.
Unicorns of Love with a good read knew that the members in middle lane had gone missing and 3 people were off the map. Realizing they were likely coming to the bottom side, Hylasang and Vardags are going to back away from this one. Play it safe, that's what we've seen from them time and time again. Yes, they're ever so slightly down by the looks of things on CS, but it's all down to that Relic Shield. Let's take a quick look at the target space. 270, 173, so even though only 3 CS is the difference between the two of them, that's, you know, that's a lot
gold,
of different gold difference. Yeah.
Looks like Master of Sheik is going to get caught out on the wrong side of the jungle. He's going to have to go jump, but slight jumps back into him, and the Cunning comes out, finishes him off before he can use the Dust Bringer to get away, and Nutri's going to come back and say, hey, my blue buff.
His blue buff, indeed. No. He's going to give it over to Stinger, so it's not his.
I've got to give props to Nutri. He said, I'm going to do what Master of Sheepy does, but better, and he's on 16 stacks compared to Master of Sheepy's 12, so...
Yeah.
To an extent, doing exactly what he said he was going to do.
He is, although... I don't know, I'd love to go back and watch the Shyvana game for Master of Sheepy and time that one out and see whether...
He hit Feral Flare at 15 minutes.
Oh yeah,
so,
okay. So he's not quite done it better than Master of Sheepy's ever done.
No,
he is doing it better in this game.
Yeah. I mean, Shyvana will farm quicker than Nocturne in most cases anyway, so... But Nutri now heading off to pick up that Epic Minion and getting... pushed off it a little bit by Vardags, but Nutri will come back slightly later fairly soon. And actually going over to Vardags with the Piltover Peacemaker, so that's a wasted Epic Minion for Nutri. And he's going to back off. Maybe head to...
Oh, Zodiaz is in trouble.
Oh, Zodiaz is in trouble. He's going to go down. The Nocturne also comes down also. He's just going to get exhausted straight away. Need to be really, really careful here. Probably could have come in a little bit earlier, but may have lost a little bit of vision or something along those lines. Or maybe just said, hey, Zodiaz is already... Actually, I've got to give it to Rain. They're coming back with a vengeance this game.
They're ahead in this game. Is 1,600 gold is the lead between the two teams. As Rain just have a, you know, they feel like they've got a better team composition for this. They've taken away the Leona from Unicorns of Love after having banned it last game, and they're just feeling more comfortable. And I want to see more out of Hylasang. He's 0-1-1 at this point.
Again, he's very quiet.
Yeah,
he's just very
they
quiet.
only have one.
Oh, they
There's
catch
the
on to
hook.
Digger. Is he going to follow it up? No, he's not. And that's just another Piltover Peacemaker to the face that Blackjack will tank up fairly happily, actually. And they're going to try and defend this mid-lane turret. Warrior is coming down, has got that Bilgewater Cutlass now, so he's on the same sort of level steading in terms of item power that Renekton is. He's going to try and catch out the Renekton, possibly. No, he's going to head up towards that top lane. So, right now, Rain have got about a 1.3k gold advantage. So very, very slight, but getting there.
Yeah, it's only a small lead, but Challe actually taking damage from Warrior there. I thought Warrior was just going to continue to trade that. I was thinking, I don't know whether you can fight that this early on with only a Bilgewater Cutlass, but we'll see whether that top lane, which has now just evolved into that 1v1 that we were expecting, Like, tower did go down as well, so that's another part of the reason why they're putting Jax up there. Getting him that free farm, getting him the solo lane farm to get himself into the game.
Yeah, and now the bot lane are finally rotating around to get a bit of dragon control for Nutri. They need that dragon control. Rain a little bit behind. They just need to sort of get this global gold and push themselves a little bit further ahead than they actually are, because obviously the comp from oh, the ultimate comes out from Orianna here. The shockwave really good. Manages to block off the satchel charge jump by Zodiac. There's Vizier. He's very, very tanky, even with just with that Sunfire cape. Gonna force Nutri away. The box is pretty bad from Hylasang. Also, the hook not landing on anything. Wasn't too impressed with that play just there. And essentially, that's a 2-0, maybe a free dragon, although Omega is very low.
Hylasang, king of crowd control on minions in that fight. He boxed, he flayed, he hooked the minions.
I think this is a good way to play against Unicorns of Love. Oh, the flash hook and the flash from Digger is reciprocated, and that's going to be a wasted flash really for both. Well, you know, trading flash for flash on a support for flash on Orianna isn't too bad, but hey, I'm not impressed. I have to put it out there. Hylasang, taken out of his comfort champions Morgana and Leona, I'm not seeing anything that I'm particularly impressed about.
Yeah, that one was probably the worst we've seen yet from Hylasang, actually. Not too sure on that one. That's really strange, because I've seen him play pretty well on Thresh, but we can just give him the benefit of the doubt on that one, I think, maybe.
Yeah, possibly. Anyway, that's going to be a dragon going over to Rain right now, pushing their gold advantage a little bit further ahead. 3k at 16 minutes. That's a good advantage to have. Anyway, as I was saying, the mid-game team fights for Unicorns of Love is really strong, especially with the Ziggs and Renekton combo. The AoE coming out there is very good. Rain scale a little bit better into the late game, so but both teams are fairly equal footings as far as this game goes. So, but I'm really liking the shockwaves coming out from Digger. He's played Orianna a couple of games, and he's been up and down in terms of his performances, but playing really well this game.
Yeah, he's been on top of those shockwaves. Really has just been working well.
Oh, Warrior's going to go down and force the flash from Viziachi, but he uses the Bilgewater Cutlass to slow him down. Is he going to be able to slow him down to available? Nutri uses his ultimate. They're going to chase him down. Flame Breath comes down. The percentage health-based damage doing the work. In the meantime, Digger gets a solo kill with Leona. That's not a solo kill. A kill onto Ziggs, and that's going to be a double kill for Rain. They're doing everything they can with this advantage, and hey, take away some champions that Unicorns of Love and comfortable on, and you're kind of putting them outside their comfort zone.
And this is the first time we've really seen this on stream, that Unicorns have been in an uncomfortable position. And I mean, where do they go from here? Unicorns of Love, we know they're a strong team. We know they can you know, take series against some of the best challenger teams, but I feel like always playing from behind is always a different ball game than playing while ahead. Playing while ahead is always pretty easy. You just rotate around and you've got the item advantage, but now they have to make the important decisions.
Yeah, the CS advantage is still in favour in most lanes for Unicorns of Love, so they have got that going for them, but they are currently sitting at about 4.5k gold behind, so not in a great position. So right now, what do Rain need to do to solidify their advantage?
Right now they need to continue to rotate. They need to get all three of the outer towers down. So really there's been so little focus on the lower side of the map. We've had the dragon go down, and now we need to look to rotate out towards the bottom side for that lower outer turret. And then the rest of the non-base turret. So you're looking at the 3 inner turrets. From there, Dragon is going to be up fairly soon as well. So it's kind of just a pick and mix of whichever of these objectives they want. They need to just set up the wards, set up the objective, and take it down.
Nutri needs one more jungle camp to finish off his Feral Flare, whereas Master of Sheepy needs 5 more. So if Nutri can push that advantage, he's probably going to take away his red buff also. Push that advantage, you can start building up those Feral Flare stacks and start doing some serious damage into this mid game. So I'm really liking the fact that I like the fighting talk from Nutri. I'm going to do the Feral Flare better than Master of Sheepy, and he's come out swinging and got the fist to back up his words.
Yeah, he's actually had a really good game in this situation, and he's been on point with the rotations. We talked about that earlier, about how Unicorns are going to be used to rotating, and he needed to step up, and he really has done. Here's Rain putting Warrior down in that bottom lane. This is what Jax wants to do. Solo lane, farming it out. He's starting to get the itemization now that Blade
he's got the Blade of the Ring. He can pretty much 1v1 most members of Unicorns of Love who do come to deal with him, especially sort of the squishier members. Maybe we'll struggle a little bit against Renekton just because of how tanky he is right now with the Megatron Cloak doing work against Jack's AP-based damage also. Anyway, in this mid lane, a very healthy mid lane turret is not going to be sieged down as easily as Unicorns of Love would like. In about 2.5 to 3 minutes, we're going to see the dragon come back on the map too, and that's going to be a big talking point in terms of fights. So again, that's where Rain really needs to sort of solidify their rotations around to try and come around and take that dragon and possibly win a team fight too.
Well, Blackjack, has he been caught out? Satchel charge knocked him forward, but no, that's just going to clear out the ward. Nothing really going to happen off that one, but you know, it's all about setting up Baron for Rain as well, because we talked about Feral Flare, how quickly you can start doing a Baron from that. And this is about the 5-minute window where teams are starting to look towards earlier Barons as well, so it's all a possibility. If they start sending multiple people to deal with Jax, it's an easy rotate for Rain.
Yeah, Blackjack actually sitting on a fair amount of gold. He's got about 830, so he can probably pick up a little bit of a boost for his defensive capabilities. Looks like Nutri's going to go into this actually by himself right now to support his team. He's going to ult backwards. Needs to be really careful as Blackjack jumps onto Hylasang. Isn't going to get the CC that he needs. In jumps Master of Sheepy, but he is not tanky right now, and Jax is doing a ton of damage in the background. Vizasachi's going to get caught up by the Shockwave. He's going to go down to Digger. Going to force Warrior back. Vardag is going to pick up the kill onto him. They are possibly going to pick up Zodiac. Yes, he is. And that's a great kill up for Digger right there. And Slight picks up the Rampage as he finishes off the Caitlyn with his Ardent Blaze.
4 kills to 1, and that's going to be a quick rotate out from Rain to the Baron area.
Baron, here we go.
With that Feral Flare completed, they're going to be able to burn through that pretty quickly here as well. No
Dignitas Aurelio. Don't want to see that happen to you guys. They are going to burn through it really quickly though. Feral Flare doing the work that he needs to, and with how far Slight ahead is as well, he's doing a lot of damage to this very early and young Baron. Doesn't have a lot of HP compared to the Barons in the later game, and that's going to be a free Baron today, and their gold advantage rocketed to 8k.
Yeah, that's a big gold advantage for this time in the game. 14 kills up to 2, and you know, Unicorns of Love will be wondering what they've got to do to come back into this. And looking towards Dragon, it has just spawned. This would be maybe the beginning of building a gold deficit back between the two. They really want to just start getting some extra money from somewhere, but they just haven't had the chance yet.
Rain had the choice between Baron and Dragon. They chose right. Obviously, you want to pick up the Baron. It gives you that 2 to 3 minutes of map control as you have the Baron buff on you. Now Rain have to be careful about where they choose to rotate. They don't want to go for any silly tower dives. Although they have Baron, it's very early on in the game. It's not going to make that much of a difference in total compared to their late game builds where they will be able to regen health. And it means something, you know, so they haven't got very much health on the board at the moment. Anyway, Jax now finishing off that phage. He's got sitting on about 700 gold, so he's going to be heading towards maybe building the Sheen next and then finishing off that Trinity Force, and when he does, he's going to be a very scary person to deal with.
Now, Unicorns will have looking to defend this middle lane turret here. So yes, it's got good wave clear, as has Vardag. So it's difficult to push in towards a Ziggs or a Caitlyn, let alone a Ziggs and a Caitlyn, especially when that Caitlyn's got a static Shiv. So there's not going to be too much more happening in that middle lane, I feel, unless Rain really force the issue. But it's the outer towers they'll be looking for here. They're looking for the 3 remaining non-base towers, as I thought mid lane had dropped, but no, hasn't dropped yet.
No, just like Nutri's getting a 1v1 with Master of Sheepy in the top lane. Look at the level difference between the two of them. Master of Sheepy level 11, now level 12, and Nutri sitting at level 14. How many stacks of Feral Flare has this guy stacked up right now? Sitting on 9. Nocturne just hit 25, so he's only just picked up that Feral Flare.
Yeah, that has only just transformed, so now Nutri is significantly far ahead. We've been commenting on that for quite a while. Let's see how much gold that translates into. It's actually 2,500 gold between the two junglers. On a jungler, that is a massive difference.
Oh, the Ziggs ultimate comes down, doesn't manage to clear the entire wave. So this turret is going to go down nonetheless. Bit of a poor placement for the Ziggs ultimate there, but maybe he was thinking that it was going to go down regardless. Nutri picks up the ward in that bot lane. In that mid lane brush right there. They're going to rotate round for this top. Digger's going to be doing a bit of work with his ball to zone off the majority of the members. Hylasang can get a hook over the wall if he's careful, but the sweeper ward is going to take away the ward that was locating the members of Rain. They need to be careful they don't get engaged upon here, but I don't know if Unicorns of Love are going to risk it. And that's 2 free towers for Rain, and Unicorns of Love have no answer.
Yeah, they really just don't have any way of contesting objectives. Look at the top 3 champions of Unicorns of Love: 0-4, 0-4, 0-4. no effect, or hardly any effect. Really only just those 2 kills of providing top jungle and mid. It's only the bottom lane that really just has been doing okay.
Yeah, and when you say okay, there's a 1k gold difference between the Caitlyn and the Lucian, and that's the majority of that is global gold. So
yeah,
they haven't done badly. They've had a pretty good game, but it's just that Ziggs and that Renekton had an absolute shocker. And Master Sheepy not bringing up the Nocturne that he brought up last game. So again, also not tanking enough right now to deal with the damage that is coming out from Unicorns of Love. From Rain. And look at the Shyvana build right now. This is very popular in the jungle. The Wit's End into Feral Flare into Sunfire Cape. Shred their magic resist, do magic damage on hit.
Yeah, exactly. They're going to set up a death
they're going to
rush.
jump onto Slide. That was a good hook coming out from Halasang. The shutdown going onto the Caitlyn. That's a little bit of extra picked up. But look at the rotation from Rain. They've said, hey, okay, take our AD carry, we'll take your mid lane turret.
Yeah, they know that they were caught out of the base, so Rain are going to rotate around. I think Unicorns may just be able to get there without Rain face tanking up an inhibitor turret, which they really don't want to do right now. They are ahead, of course, but they're not that far ahead. But unfortunately, didn't quite get that. They did, however, lose a bottom lane
Ziggs
turret.
ultimate comes down, hits across 3 members of the Rain team right there. Probably going to have to force them to back out. Lucian is a big portion of their damage. So they are just going to run away ever so
They're going to stop the recalls because there's a bottom lane tower being taken down by Caitlyn. However,
the re-engage, a great spell shield onto Master of Sheepy, but that means the Zenith Blade is going to hit. Zodiac is going to get forced to flash as Nutri is forced to back off. He has got a good amount of damage on him though. You've got to run away from Nutri even though he was on a 3rd health. Caitlyn is now being forced to back, and Rain are going to say, okay, fine, let's just back out here now.
The call was made that Lucian had respawned.
The engage onto Nutri, flash and burnout. Forces him out of the flash tether. Digger in a bit of a bad position here. The hook misses absolutely everyone in the cluster of people, and they are going to try and turn around. Lucian is there for the damage. Warrior is in the middle of the team. Busy gets the stun down. Is he going to get the damage? No, the exhaust comes down. There's Warrior going onto Vardex, being forced to flash after that. Very tentative for Rain right now. They need to back out in case of giving away a full team fight to Unicorns of Love.
Dragon is up in about a minute, Baron in 1 minute 30, so now it's just all down to who is going to get the better control. You have to feel like Rain would really want a Baron that would help them close out the game. Now, of course, there's they just are so far ahead, so far ahead. 8,000 gold at this point is a big ask, but that's the first tower in that middle lane down for Unicorns of Love.
There is an outer tower in the bot lane still standing for Unicorns of Love. That's something that Rain could look to target. Now that Jax's teleport is up, he can split push that and try and aim to go round and work that turret. And the bot lane is pushing in their favour, so that's something they can look to. Baron is live in 57 seconds, Dragon is live in 24 seconds, so we've got big globals coming back on the map very soon. And right now, team fights will be going in favour of Rain if they manage to all hit at full health.
Yeah, you have to think that they'll end up either taking both objectives or take a team fight into taking a Baron plus a turret or a Dragon plus a turret, just anything like that that Rain really want. There's not a lot that can stop them bar Master of Sheepy just using that paranoia to get all the way into the Baron pit.
Yeah, that's the only thing I can think of getting a Smite Steal there. Although, remember, they aren't so far ahead that they won't take damage from Baron.
Yeah.
So a Ziggs ultimate in the right place can get a lot of damage with that stacking Baron buff as well. Looks like Dragon has gone live. Nutri is aware of it, I think, but they're more focused on this Baron. If Unicorns of Love play this right, they could get a Dragon and a Baron, but they need to be very careful about how they do it, because if they go to Dragon, Nutri will just shred that Baron.
Shred through, indeed. Itemization wise.
Oh, the jump over the wall, the good shot though, doesn't manage to get onto Halasang. Halasang doesn't have his flash available, does get the hook back onto Blackjack. He's forced to go back. Busy is going to try and zone him away from the Caitlyn. Probably not the best use of their ultimates that they could have gone for. And now they've lost 3 ultimates and going to have to back away from Baron until they're up again.
Itemization wise, AD carries are actually fairly close here. Trinity Force Last Whisper has been finished on Lucian. Caitlyn running with the Last Whisper, Static Shift, and that Bloodthirst. Of course, Lucian has one of those as well, but...
Dragon is available. Slight is starting it by himself with Digger. I believe Unicorns of Love are aware of this. Are they going to go and face check this? Don't know if Dragon's going to go down in time. Busy is available. And Nocturne is on the sideline, so is Jack. The purple team managed to slay the Dragon. Poor decision making from Rain, giving away 3 global gold. There's Vardex taking a ton of damage. Digger's going to use himself as a bait, and the Zig's ultimate is going to finish him off there. Again, I'm not sure that was the best decision making on Rain. They're actually throwing away gold, and now it's a 5k gold advantage, back to where we were about 10 minutes ago.
And that's not good if you're Rain, because, I mean, Unicorns of Love are the more experienced team. They're more experienced on their late game, their rotations, and that was just an objective that Rain didn't really need to force without knowing that they had that for sure. Play goes backwards from Hylasang. That'll deny Leona from any kind of stun, but I mean, they had no smite around the area against a Nocturne who can smite in, and even though he didn't look to paranoia into smite, Visage actually just ran in and culled the meek and got the dragon.
It was very poor play as well. Slight starting the dragon without having seen where the majority of Unicorns of Love were on the map, and they didn't have Nutri there to use the smite. So again, just not the best play coming out. Nutri now sitting on 19 stacks of Feral Flare. If he wanted to, could probably duo Baron with Jax if they had the ward coverage to do so. Hylasang jumping onto a minion to push up that mid wave, and Unicorn Loves are starting to play more confidently.
They are. They're definitely getting the groove back on this one. They were shaken a little bit earlier.
The Nutri gets the fear tether onto him. He's going to be forced to run away as they all walk and try to get control of this Baron pit in that bot lane. However, Jax does have teleport, so he's going to continue to push. May go for that bot lane turret. Looks like Slight and Blackjack are going to push this midway up, and they need to be really careful of the engage from the Nocturne. It's not up for about another 30 seconds though.
Not up for a while. I mean, that attempt there by the pick on towards Nutri. If they'd have got the fear tether procced, it may have done flash into the hook, doesn't quite land. Oriana Ball comes forward. They were expecting the shockwave digger, just held onto it for them.
There was a 5-man rotation possibly working towards the bot lane, but they see that Rain are heading towards that Baron, so they're all going to come down for it too. There is one ward picking up their Baron attempt for Unicorns of Love, but look how quickly the Baron is going down. Does Jax need to teleport in, because Warrior is so very close right now. The Zig's ultimate hits absolutely nobody. They're going to back away. The flash ultimate from Leona comes in. Nutri is in the middle doing a ton of damage. Warrior gets a good counter strike off. He's onto Vargas. The heal comes out, as does the exhaust. They're going to try and get away. Great shockwave forces Vizzy to use his flash over the wall in the wrong way. Look at the damage that Nutri is doing right now. He's absolutely running shop through Unicorns of Love. It's a 3-for-0 right now. No one dying on the side of Rain, and they're going to run straight at the middle for this inhibitor turret. In the meantime, Vizzy going all the way through the jungle to get away safely.
Yeah, this will be the inhibitor turret, and very, very likely the inhibitor going down once Jax joins the party, as they will hammer through that. They're not going to stay for it.
They're not going to stay for the inhibitor. I think they're about... Well, actually, this is a moderately decent decision. So, you see a lot of teams that say Baron or inhibitor. If they'd taken the inhibitor, they would have pushed it to a point where most of the team on Unicorns of Love would be spawning and would rush Baron, and they would be too low to contest. Very smart move by Rain to take the Baron off the map and then recycle and go for that inhibitor afterwards.
Yeah, that is a pretty smart play there by Rain. So I imagine now after backing they will push through the bottom lane. Is you know, that is the last remaining outer tower, and now that they have that exposed middle tower, it's kind of just a game of rotating a couple of lanes around until you can really just get that spot in front of the inhibitor that is exposed. So it's just a case of Rain have got to play this one out a little bit patient, make sure that they pick up the items that they need, and then just close it out.
Yeah, and right now Shyvana is doing tons of damage and is very tanky, picking up that random zone on top of the Sunfire, as well as the magic resist provided by the Wit's End as she's auto-attacking. So she's going to be doing a lot of damage, especially with the Wit's End stacked on that Feral Flare, which was getting better all the time. So right now, Rain are in commanding driving seat. They're going to force this to a third game if they play this right. That mid lane inhibitor is looking like the target, and Warrior still has his TP available. Didn't need to TP down to that Baron fight, so he's just going to push that bot lane turret, and another chunk of global gold is going to go in favour of Rain.
So you've got to hope that Freak's not watching, because, you know, you're saying Shyvana's doing tons of damage, but
The Trinity Force was on Lucian.
He'd be asking why Jax and Lucian aren't doing tons of damage.
Do you know what, I kind of picked up just saying tons of damage when watching too much Freak, and now I say it about almost everything. Anyway, looks like this mid lane inhibitor is the key right here. There's a couple of wards coming down on that side for Rain, so Jax can TP in. The bot lane tower is going to go down. He's going to split push and force the attention from Unicorns of Love away from their inhibitor. Looks like Well, Ziggs can't decide where he wants to wave clear. Does he want to wave clear bot, or does he want to wave clear mid? And they're going to push onto this into the turret. Jax is in that bot lane too. There has to be an engage soon from Unicorns of Love, or they're going to lose out on the turret. Looks like the hook comes down onto Blackjack. That's not the target you want, but the auto attacks coming down from Vardex is very strong, forcing Nutri to back out as Blackjack, but that's an inhibitor, and job well done, guys. They're going to back out.
That's all they needed from that exchange, and Jax pushed up the bottom as well. So it's down to 30 seconds on the Dragon timer, and now it'll just be a quick rotation.
Yeah, and they'll have that Dragon timer because of their failure earlier on. Looks like the ultimate is going to come down, and Nutri's going to follow up. The Nocturne ultimate comes down too, but Zodiac's going to go down to the massive damage coming out from Nutri. There's Nocturne. He's going to chase onto Blackjack, but the Mikael's Crucible is going to do the job for him. The Zenith Blade is going to lock Master of Sheepy up, and look how much HP Blackjack survived with. The Banshee's Veil has been popped on Vizzy. I think that's a graphical bug. So they're going to get onto Halasang. This is going to be 2 Nexus turrets going down. It could be the game going over to Nutri Rain, and they're going to go over and take this to a best of 3.
Yeah, Rain look like they're going to take down both Nexus turrets here. They're pretty low on health, but it doesn't really matter with the Jax and
Surrender Vote comes out
Lucian.
too.
Surrender Vote comes out, Nexus will fall, and that means we're going to very quickly head into a game 3 of our best of 3. One of the first best of 3s of the day, but the first game 3 nonetheless.
And this is the first time that Unicorns of Love have looked fragile across this game. And Rain really pulled it together with their Feral Flare jungler. And I think the key was Nutri there. He did out-jungle Nocturne and did bring that power to the mid-game teamfights. So it's going to be really interesting to see how Unicorns of Love react in their third game.
Yeah, and that third game will be coming to you in just a couple of minutes. We'll get all the players back into the lobby. Meanwhile, we're going to head to a very short break. Stay with us here for the I-51 Razer Challenger Cup coverage.